Hey everybody, we're here on June 9th. It's been roughly a week since FlotillaGate started. Um, I was actually going to make a video last night, but I decided to wait to the morning to gather my thoughts. Um, Greta Thunberg was detained. We'll talk about all that. In this episode, I plan on talking about two things. Originally, it was only one thing, but the LA riots are also happening right now, and they're really important. And what's going on is really important. There's a lot of people standing up for rights and actively fighting what Trump is doing. A lot of people are calling it illegal. It does look like what Trump's doing is pretty illegal. ICE is doing things they're not supposed to be doing. Oversight of power is a big deal. So we'll talk about that a little bit too. But I came here to talk about two things: shining a light and diversionary thinking. I'm going to apply it first to the Greta Thunberg situation. I'm going to try to apply shining a light to the Greta Thunberg situation, and then I'm going to talk about diversionary thinking there as well. We could apply it to the LA riots, but that's not what was happening on my wall, so I'll keep them separate instances. Here goes. So, shining a light. The reason I brought up shining a light is because a lot of the pushback that I got from friends, family, adversaries, whatever you want to call anybody. No, I consider everyone that I'm talking to, I hold dear. But either way, I'm getting the pushback saying, well, Gleaner, she's shining a light on this topic. What are you doing? Or listen to that. She's shining a light here. And I think it's great. Shining a light on topics is great. You know, use your voice. That's what you do as activists. So when it comes to shining a light on things, yeah, that's good. But you can also shine a light in many ways. Again, before I get into the specific Greta Thunberg incident, I want to scrutinize by kind of responding to how I feel about like the general social media zeitgeist. I feel like people shine lights on stuff selectively. And that's why I made a post this morning that shows not to divert from the thinking of Israel's situation, but I think that if you divert from showing that there's active genocides and active war zones all over the world, so I posted a list of things so people that are interested in shining a light on active human rights abuses can see what else is going on and start comparing things. So if you want, go check that out on my Facebook. That being said, shining a light is very important. I don't think it's wrong that Greta Thunberg wants to shine a light on the Israel-Palestine situation. However, there's already a giant floodlight, a giant sun shining on this. We talk about it every day. Everyone's been talking about it for a couple of years. So to me, if her reason for doing it is to shine a light on it, it comes off, some on the right have called it narcissistic. I wouldn't call it narcissistic. I would maybe call it reactionary or overextending yourself. The point is, I don't think she's bringing more publicity to this than already is on it, because the whole world's already looking at it. Now, that doesn't make her incorrect for doing it. That just means that the topic of, oh, she's doing it to shine a light, isn't necessarily like a counter argument to, I disagree that she's doing it, right? Because then the other people will say, well, she's getting corporate sponsors. She's making money off followers, that she's doing it for herself. Again, that's not my opinion necessarily, and I actually don't agree with everything that I just said there, but that's what the right is saying, and the left is saying, well, she's shining a light. So there's two competing worldviews. She's doing it for herself, or she's doing it for Palestinians. So that's one thing, shining a light. I think we should shine a light on a number of topics. I think it's great to shine lights on stuff. And if Greta Thunberg wants to do that, I think she should keep shining lights on stuff. We'll get back to that in a second. But while you shine a light on topics, shine lights equally across as often as you can. Talk about Myanmar, talk about Sudan. And if you want to talk about the Middle East specifically, you can talk about what's going on. There's in Iran, there's our musicians all the time being arrested for speaking out against the Iranian government. There are Alawites being persecuted in Syria for what's going on with Syria there. Again, Israel, UAE, Qatar, America, all complicit. Are on both sides. I'm not defending Israel. There are people, there's actually now a militia in Gaza that Israel is funding, so that are Palestinians. So that's a whole other thing with the genocide conversation. Again, war crimes are being committed, but are they killing a religious group or a specific distinct group when they're arming two sides? I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. Point is, there's a lot of weird funding issues going on. The governments are all doing this, and the people should be standing together. So yes, please shine a light, but let's also learn to dissect and grant value equally across the spectrum of things. As in, like, I'm shining a light on Sudan, Myanmar, the Congo, stuff like that. Okay, so now to diversionary thinking. Some people will say, well, why are you shining a light on this? It's diverting from something else. And I would say I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I can both talk about one thing or feel a certain way about one thing, but also notice something else, observe a hot topic, hot button issue, and speak on that. I think a lot of times people think I'm not critical of the Israeli government. When you grow up in a Jewish family and you're critical of the Israeli government since you're like born, it's like criticizing the American government. I don't wake up every day and be like, fuck Trump, even though definitely fuck Trump, right? It's the same thing with Israel. I'm not a dual citizen, but it kind of feels like I am in a way. But I can say fuck both governments, and I love both peoples. Same way I can say, I think Ukraine and Russian governments are both doing terrible things. Ukraine's defending itself for sure, but Ukraine also created a situation that made Putin do this or that. Again, that's not for me to scrutinize. I'm worried about the people on both sides. I'm sad for the Russian people. I'm sad for the Ukrainian people. These actors, these puppets, the people in charge, I don't necessarily have to feel bad for them. I do think Zelensky's done some very brave things, and I'll talk about that a whole different time. And I do think Putin's a monster. But this doesn't change that I can care about the Russian people and the Ukrainian people and the Palestinian people and the Israeli people and the American people and the Mexican people, as well as the Sudanese and Congolese people. We can go on for hours. So, when it comes to shining a light and diversionary thought, just remember, people can hold multiple opinions at once, and we can have civic discourse where the answer to someone saying, I don't agree with this, isn't, well, why are you doing that when we could be doing this? So, hey, keep shining your light, keep being civil, and keep thinking. Much love.